We're down here on pitch side before today's senior football final, joined by Paul Doolan and Shane Donoghue as we look forward to this game. Lads, conditions absolutely ideal for a game here today. We have a slight breeze in it, but a day that will suit good football.
Yeah, and we've seen that, Ray, I suppose, in the minor game there. The breeze was significant and very significant. As it turned out at the end, it finished with a great draw, but it certainly is. It is a major factor here today. There's no question about it. And the team, I suppose, that does better against the wind is probably going to be the team that comes out to win the Flanagan Cup here today.
St Lomans Club got off to a bad weekend yesterday with their juniors being narrowly beaten, but look, I suppose this is the big one, and this is the one they'll be looking forward to.
Oh yeah, and what the club would have been planning for all year, and look, we know they've been planning for 9 years in a row. The wind you're speaking about, it's interesting for me now. Last year Lomans played into a very similar breeze. I know it was much wetter, and they didn't convert their chances in the first half and didn't use advantage of it in the second half. The downs really stifled them, and I'd be interested if they win the toss today to see which way.
Yeah.
Like perhaps play with the breeze in the first half and get a lead up and drag Kinnegad out of their shell might be an option for them. But it will play a part in it. I think Kinnegad will cope both ways because of the style of football that they play, and they bring everyone back, and they're a running, attacking kind of counter-attack team. But the pitch is in great order. I know somebody mentioned that it got cut up a bit yesterday. I've walked a bit of it there now. It's not bad at all. And yeah, it's set up for a good game of football, I think, Ray.
Jerry, contrasting teams here in the experience end of it. St Lomans go with all that experience of finals down through the years. Kinnegad in their first championship county final in a long time.
Absolutely, 25 years. And I was actually just saying during the week, I remember being here, I'm showing my age now, 1967, when Coralstown Kinnegad, under the guise of St Finian's, won a final on an atrocious day. And it looked yesterday, I said we're going to have the same again, but thankfully we haven't. Yeah, as you say, no comparison, but finals are there to be won. It's a free shot for Coralstown Kinnegad. I think, I won't speak for everybody, but I think the general consensus all year is that Lomans were going to not only win this but stroll through it. But the closer you get to the final and you look at the quality of a lot of the players Coralstown Kinnegad have, they're in with a shout today. But form and experience would suggest St Lomans. But I'll tell you what, Kinnegad won't lack for motivation.
Yeah, Paul, they've had a turbulent week out in Coralstown Kinnegad, and obviously we've well documented the death of Jack Cooney's father and grandfather for four players maybe involved in this panel. So I'm sure that'll be a motivating factor as well, for them to do justice to the man.
It has to be a motivating factor, Ray. If anything, it should really be a major motivating factor for them. And let's be honest about this. We always talk about the likes of the John Heslins and the Ronan Dulles as well. There's some really quality players in that Kinnegad team as well. Owen O'Brien, the young centre back there, Jason Mackin. Jason Mackin has been my star of the championship so far, if I'm being honest. Brian Cooney. These guys are quality players. They won't ask for a second chance here today. And if St Lomans wanted the challenge, they're going to get it today, Ray. I think anyway. And I would hope from a neutral perspective that we get a bit of a quality game here today. I think it's probably going to be a little bit tight. Lomans have developed this kind of defensive system which Paddy Dowdall has brought in, which has been ultra effective for them so far, and maybe a little departure from what they have been doing previous to this. But Kinnegad as well, they'll be happy to stay in the game. The longer the game goes on, the more confident they'll get, and come squeaky bum time, it could be going anywhere.
Yeah, we've seen the way Coralstown Kinnegad set up, and we know all about the way Jack Cooney and Pascal Callahan set up their team, Shane. But have they enough to get over the St Lomans today?
Yeah, if game plan goes if they can control the game that they want to, and if they can stop Lomans imposing themselves, I think Lomans will look to impose themselves quickly on this and bring the speed and the power and off the boot that they did against Tyrrell's Pass. Like, they were outstanding against Tyrrell's Pass and blew them out of the water early in the game, and I would imagine that's what they'll look to do. But no, there's enough equality in this Kinnegad team to be really competitive in a county final and possibly pip Lomans if, like I said, it goes to Kinnegad's plan. And that's where the balance will be. They'll have to stay structured, and the process, and we all talk about the process, and that's part of what Jack does. I think if they're all fully tuned in for the 66, 67 minutes that it's going to take, they certainly have a good chance. Like Paul's mentioned a few lads, but I think that half back line of Kinnegad has been massively impressive all year. And look, they're coming up against a good half forward line of Lomans, you know, with Tristan Graham, Sam McCartan and Sean Flanagan lining out there, but they'll probably restructure that a little bit. Ronan O'Toole will be out there. But the half back line of Kinnegad is really, really important to how this game is going to play out. And then when they explode out from the back, when they have all those runners and a ball carrier, and you have Gilesy carrying the ball or getting on off the shoulder and maybe thump a couple of scores from 40 yards like he can do, it'll suck Lomans out a little bit. But yeah, it'll be all for Kinnegad. It'll be all about can we play it on our terms, and Lomans will be completely the same, wanting to play on their terms. Whoever wins that little battle ultimately will come out on top.
Jerry, we're going to have to get off the pitch here, but quickly, your pick for who's going to win this.
Yeah, very quick mention there. You said Dermot Cooney. I see Tommaso Flaherty is the far side for TG Carr. His mother passed away during the week, so sympathies to him as well. And Dermot Cooney and quite a number of Cooneys played in that match. I played in 1967, so in a word, St. Lomans.
Paul?
I have tipped Lomans all year. I'm not going to go back on that. I think they have the quality on it, but I think it might be closer than people are predicting.
Shane, last word for yourself.
Yeah, St. Lomans. I think St. Lomans will win this, and I think it could be 4 or 5 points by the end of the game, but it will be tight for a long way.
Okay, that's verdict for St. Lomans from our 3 pundits. Join us shortly for the start of the game. Thanks, lads. welcome everybody to TG Cusick Park for this, I suppose, the blue ribbon event of the club football scene in Westmeath. Is a senior football final sponsored by Shay Murtagh for 2023, and joined on co-commentary here today by Shane Donoghue. Shane, looking forward to a really quality game here.
Yeah, look, county final day is very special, Ray, and it's a spectacle. There's fabulous colour in here, sun is shining, there's a bit of a breeze coming from the Dunn Stores end, but two teams that are absolutely primed. I would say that this is the first time that the best 15 from both squads will meet each other this year, and it's going to be fascinating. You know, I'm looking at Kinnegad down here in front of us doing a warm-up, and the power and the pace and the intensity, and if they can bring that until whatever time, 4 o'clock or 3:45 today, they'll be in with a huge shout. And you contrast that with the Lomans lads going through a routine that they're so familiar with in here on county final day. We've said it before, it's 9 in a row. They look calm, collected. They know what this is all about. There'll be pressure. They'll want to win back the Flanagan Cup after, letting it slip through their hands last year a little bit perhaps, and that's not discrediting the Downs win, but they felt that they left a lot of that game behind them, especially in the first half. So yeah, it should be a wonderful spectacle today.
Yeah, great support in from both sides. Actually, a lot of colour here. Flags in blue and white and flags in red and white. I was through the town of Kinnegad there yesterday, and there's great colour out there. So they're certainly up for it. Galvanised, I'm sure, with the unfortunate circumstances where Jack Cooney's father died during the week, and it affects something like 5, if not 6 of the panel as well. So that'll be a factor for them, and I'm sure they'll be looking to do justice to him as well and put in a really strong effort in this game.
Yeah, Lord Westdermott was a stalwart of Coralstown Kinnegad. I think he was one of the people involved in the renaming of the club back in the mid-80s. Where they used to be St. Finian's, and he's won junior and I think intermediate championships. At one point there was 6 of the Cooney brothers playing in a county final, and it'll affect more than just his direct relatives. There's very much a family atmosphere in colloquial clubs, and I won't say Kinnegad is rural, but it's not the buzzing town that it used to be before motorways were built and everything like that. But it would affect them all. And like I said during the week, I think it might have, in one way it might have been a nice, not necessarily nice, I don't know what the right word, but a distraction away from all the build up to a county final. So in that way it might help them as well. Look, they're here. I can just looking at them, the power again. I'm going to say it. There's serious intent in this Kinnegad group. They don't doubt themselves. I think Alan Gavin said it earlier in the year. The Jim McGuinness mantra: any game is there to be won, and there's no doubt that Kinnegad they'll have bits of nerves, but they look primed, they look ready.
Yeah, Lomans at the other end, as you say, Shane, have done this so many times. When you're right, it might be a little bit earlier today than what they would normally before the senior final, but they know the routine at this stage.
Yeah, they know the routine. And look, there's a few other things that's going on. Thankfully, our Blue Ribbon event has been broadcast nationally on TG Cahir, which is fantastic. I would imagine that players want to do themselves justice. It's not all the time that you're on the national stage. And speaking of that, you've Ronan O'Toole, who was recently nominated for an All-Star, and a much-deserved nomination. One that, if he doesn't actually win an award, he'll be thereabouts, and perhaps a big performance today can sway a vote in his favour. I think he's one of the classiest forwards in the country, and he's proven it. And he'll be hoping to prove it again today. He loves to show off, Ray, and it's another opportunity for him.
Absolutely. But look, with that, Shane, we'll give the two teams, and we're going to start with the St. Lomans team down our left-hand side, and they line out with the goalkeeper, Jason Daly. The full-back line, Owen Hogan wears 2, Darragh O'Keefe at 3, and the second Hogan brothers at 4. In the half-back line, Jack Gagan at 5, David Whelan, who's vice-captain of the team, at 6, and Kevin Regan at 7. Middle of the field today for St. Lomans, and the Gaffney wears 8, and John Heston at 9. In the half-forward line, Tristan Graham at 10, Sam McCartan, the centre forward, at 11, and Sean Flanagan at 12. And the inside line, number 13, is Danny McCartan, the full forward, the aforementioned Ronan O'Toole, and completing the St. Lomans lineup, Shane Dempsey, were number 15. And Kinnegad, Coralstown Kinnegad line out as follows. In goals, number 1, Stephen McNevin. The full back line, Kieran Daly Senior is at 2, Daniel Woods at 3, and Ronan Doyle starts wearing number 20. In the half back line, Liam Daly at 5, Jason Mackin at 6, and Josh Gahan at 7. Middle of the field today, David Giles will wear 8, and he's partnered by Shane Fleming wearing 9. In the half-forward line, Owen O'Brien's at 10, Darren Giles the centre half-forward, the team captain at 11, and James Maxwell at 12. And the inside line, where number 23 is Dan Leach, the full forward, number 14 is Brian Cooney, and completing the Coralstown Kinnegad lineup, number 15 Wayne Fox. Referee for today's game, Alan Coyne. Shane, looking at both those lineups, will they both line out in those positions? I know a lot of time teams are just nominated as such, but I know in the semi-final, Shane Fleming wasn't listed at the start. He did come in, but he didn't play in the middle of the field. So there probably will be a few switches with both sides possibly.
Oh, certainly. And look, I spoke with St. Lomans beforehand to see if there were any changes, and what was said to me, there's no changes to personnel, but certainly won't be all operating in traditional numbers. They'll wear the numbers that are listed in the programme. But no, the game has become quite more tactical anyway, Ray, over the years, and we've had this development in football from people, say, the Jimmy McGuinness era, but look, it was always people tinkering with the game, and you tend to copy what has worked and what has been successful elsewhere. Jack Cooney has a template that he's deployed in a lot of teams that he's been involved with. It's something that he knows is proven. Pascal Kaelin has been involved with teams with Jack and independently, and they just have a similar mindset in how they like to approach the game. It's all about winning, and the traditional style of football and catch and kick and individual battles doesn't exist anymore, but it doesn't make the game any less intriguing. And I think St. Lomans have certainly adapted and adopted their defensive setup this year because they felt that they needed to do something. Having lost last year, there's always a question over their defence if their personnel individually are strong enough, but they'll drag a lot of men behind the ball, but they'll always keep a focus up front, whether it's John Heston or it's Ronan O'Toole or Shane Dempsey. Most of the time will be in there. Look, this is the part of today that will be alien to Kinnegad, marching behind the band. This is where nerves can set in. We talked about it last year, where the Downs had a number of guys who had hurled in county finals and were familiar with it. There'd be very few, if anybody, in Kinnegad if I had this. Perhaps Darren Giles with Rahani over the years, I'm not sure. But yeah, they're a very young squad. This will be a little alien. The nerves will start to build a little bit for them. But they're special memories too, and this is what everybody strives to be part of. I know, speaking with Tours Past guys over the years, as disappointed they'd be not to have collected a medal in recent years, they love being in here and part of the day. So you'd much rather be down on the pitch than standing in the terrace or sitting in the press box, I can tell you that.
Yeah, look, Shane, speaking from experience, I know for you as well that there is no replacement for being out there 1 to 15, and especially on a big day like this. And all those players from Kinnegad, there might be people have said, oh, we were ahead of this and we're ahead of that and we're a year early or 2 years early. These chances may not come again, so you've got to take them with both hands when they appear.
Yeah, and I think that's what all this management this week and the last couple of weeks for Kinnegad will be about, drilling it in. They're a young squad, they're after getting here, and you maybe get the feeling, sure, this can happen every year, but you don't. It's an opportunity that must be taken. And looking at them and seeing how calm they are, and looking at their preparation in the warm-up, Ray, I'd imagine that they're very clear-minded at the moment. Now, the game itself can present things that will fuzz that mind, and if Lomans get off to a lightning fast start, that's when you want to see how Kinnegad will react and will the day get to them. But yeah, it's going to be excellent, I think. I'm really looking forward to it.
Spoke to Ken McNevin, one of the selectors with Coralstown Kinnegad. There's great noise here coming from both sets of supporters. The teams break away from the town band, but all he said to me was, they're ready.
Yeah, and that's what you'd hope, being part of a management team, that you don't feel that you've left any stone unturned, that every lad is bought into it. And look, I think there's going to be a minute's silence in respect to Dermot Cooney.
He's the father of Jack Cooney, grandfather of Brian Cooney, Darren, Mark and David Giles, Hodge Quinn, all playing with the Coralstown Kinnegad team today.
Yeah, the minute's silence. Really well respected by everyone here at TG Cusack Park, and now we're going to have our on Navian played by the Mullingar Town Band. Shane, you mentioned in the pre-game, would St. Lomans do this? Would they try and get a lead up and draw Kinnegad out? And if that happens, no better team to punish them. But already we see two changes in the middle of the field where Coralstown Kinnegad have Darren Giles and Brian Cooney in for the throw-up. So the two cousins lining up against Kevin Regan wearing the number 7. And I think it's Sean Flanagan. Sam McCartan is it? No, it's like the Sean Flanagan in there. So changes already as the referee Alan Kine throws the ball up, and brilliant fielding there by Brian Cooney. Brian goes to ground, does very well to get the pass off, pushes it away there to James Maxwell. Maxwell lays it back to Brian Cooney again, and the centre half back is Jason Mackin. He's had an excellent year for Coralstown Kinnegad, as has this man Josh Gahan. And Wayne Fox, experienced man, out playing. We're number 15, of course, but playing out, and the ball given into Owen O'Brien. Owen back to Wayne Fox again. Wayne looks up, moves it across to the centre half back again. That's Jason Mackin. Jason just carries it forward. Game yet to take on any kind of pattern, but Coralstown Kinnegad, they'll be quite happy to hold the possession, play around with it, try and get everyone to touch on it as quick as they can, and then a quick ball played inside. Josh Gahan back to Darren Giles, with the referee seeing the ball taken off the ground. So maybe a little bit of nerves there in the opening stages from the Coralstown Kinnegad man.
Yeah, but we can see immediately how things are going to set up. Lomans kept John Hessel and Shane Dempsey up towards the Kinnegad end and dropped everybody back to the 45-yard line and allowed Kinnegad to play around them. It was a nice ball into Shane Fleming, and he should have put his toe under it. A little bit of a sloppy effort on the first attack, but similarly now Kinnegad are dropping players, probably squeezing the middle of the pitch a little bit more rather than retreating inside their 45, where they'll want to keep Lomans playing out in that part of the field. But it's going to take a few minutes to settle into it. You talked about Lomans playing with the wind. They'd like to come out and 100%, 100 miles an hour and rattle this Kinnegad team, but look, the structure the Kinnegad have there is going to be difficult to do that.
Yeah, they have the possession. They've gone from left to right, getting as many players a touch as they can. The two Hogan brothers, Oisin and Owen, getting a touch there now, and eventually chance for David Whelan to come inside Coralstown Kinnegad's 45-metre line, lays it back off to Shane Dempsey. Dempsey comes back out and a reverse pass over to the far side where St. Lomans just quite content just to hang on to it, moving around. Sam McCartan gets a touch under his back here now with Darragh O'Keefe. O'Keefe then with no player inside the St. Lomans defensive end of the field except Jason Daly. And then Ron O'Toole fires it across to the far side. Now chance for Oisin Hogan to come forward again. Oisin lays it back there as far as John Hesson. John Hesson with the first shot in anger, with the breeze on his back, fires it in, but this time the signal is that one had gone to the left and wide. But Hesson absolutely no problem with a shot from 45 metres. Shane, no problem with the distance.
No, and that would be the plan if Kinnegad are going to retreat off them a little bit, especially with the breeze on his back. John, Shane Dempsey, Ron O'Toole, Sam McCartan, all well able to strike a ball from distance.
Stephen McNevin with his first kick out. Brilliantly fielded by Brian Cooney, who's playing with number 14 on his back, but he's out around the middle of the field, calls the mark, takes it quickly, and Wayne Fox has it now as he heads in towards the 45 of St. Lomans, holds that ball, lays it off there now to Dan Leach. Dan spins around and gives it back to Fox again, this time with the outside of the left foot into the breeze. Maybe not the best option there. One wide apiece.
One wide apiece, but we can see how much the breeze is going to play into this. Kinnegad will be happy to transition the way they did, bring it up, get a shot away. It's going to be difficult. They're going to have to bring it right in, maybe 23, 24 metres out, where Lomans will be able to take their shot from a little bit more distance with the wind, Ray.
Yeah, Jason Daly goes short with the kick out. So, Coralstown Kinnegad happy to let them have the ball back there, but then ball fired in by Enda Gaffney into space over on the far side where Shane Dempsey keeps it in play. Being closed down by Ronan Doyle, but Dempsey, he's been excellent all through the year. Comes on to the 20 metre line, fires in the shot, doesn't connect on the way he had hoped. And Stephen McNevin comes out, gathers it safely. He'll be happy with that, get the first touch from play. And Coralstown Kinnegad with Ronan Doyle, experienced player, starts as he has done throughout most of the championship, wearing that number 20 jersey. Coralstown Kinnegad come down the field, the ball is given inside, a couple of players almost get in each other's way there. Possession turned over, but then they've done very well to win it back here again, and it's that man Josh Gahan. Josh holds on to the ball, lays it back to Brian Cooney. Brian thought he saw a gap there, but it was quickly closed down. Does well to hold on to the possession, gives it back to Dan Leach again. Dan carries it in, going left, taking on his man, shrugs him off, and then with the left foot takes his shot. He's hanging in there, but again, just across the front of the post and wide. But again, nice play from the number 23, Dan Leach. He's played all through the championship with that number 23 jersey, because Coralstown Kinnegad, as we know, have retired the number 13 jersey for the year. But St. Lomans again with the kick out. Sam McCartan has it again, time just to look up and gives it back there as far as David Whelan, and David has been very influential all through this championship for his side at centre half back, a new position for him, but he's really adapted well to it. Sam McCartan has the possession here, and we can see Shane down below us. Kinnegad just filter back and get the red jerseys in there, trying to just close down all options for St. Lomans.
They do, but they have some man marking happening as well, Ray. I see Owen O'Brien obviously has been tasked with Ronan O'Toole, at least for the start of the game. He's on him like a rash now. Ronan's very elusive, but the rest of it then is in a defensive shape.
Yeah, and we have the opening score of the game coming for St. Lomans there, as Shane was speaking. Sam McCartan, given the time just to get on the ball, just stroll forward, and then nonchalantly with the left foot clips it over the bar. Lovely score coming after almost 6 minutes. And again, they'll have to be wary of that. Sam McCartan can't be given that time. It's all very well maybe playing against the wind, Shane, but with the wind in their back, they'll clip points over from 40-45 metres.
They will. But at this rate, 6 minutes into the game, and if you did some, I'll let you catch up with that.
Yeah, Wayne Fox with a great catch there from the kick out and moved it on quickly there to Brian Cooney. He had the shot on, but doesn't get it on. Enough power on to get it over the bar, and we see the Kinnegad management down here encouraging these players to get back as soon as they lose possession. St. Lomans will transition, they're coming forward. The first time O'Toole has really had a chance on the ball yet. Lays it inside to Hesson. Hesson sees that there's a man coming on his right, is forced to go left, and good defending there by the Coralstown Kinnegad man. Turn it over again, too many steps. The referee and John Hesson, free out for Coralstown Kinnegad, back just inside their own 45 metre line.
Yeah, and I credit Wayne Fox for that. He spotted when Ronan O'Toole had the ball. John Heston made himself available, and Wayne Fox worked really hard to close that area where John wanted to turn in and take the shot, and then he ended up over carrying, trying to get through traffic.
David Giles has the possession now for Coralstown Kinnegad, lays it back as far as Daniel Woods. He's listed to start at full back, but he's out the field. I think he's tracking John Heston, certainly in the early stages of it here, and Brian Cooney on the ball again. He's been on a good lot of ball already for Coralstown Kinnegad. Looks around, calling the options, and then just invites a player onto that ball there, and the player that steps in there is the number 8, that's David Giles. Quick transition inside, looking for Dan Leach, but again, St. Lomans have numbers back there. They snuff out that opportunity, and Jack Gagan gives it inside where Sam McCartan knocks it down into the hands of John Heston, and So all these St. Lomans players very, very comfortable on the ball as they carry it out here. Sam McCartan with a nice dummy gives himself a little bit of space and then tries to feed it down the line to Ronan O'Toole. Again, good tracking there by Owen O'Brien, and O'Brien does very well, wins a free there and takes it, moves it out as far as Kieran Daly Senior. Kieran loses it, but it's picked up again, and Wayne Fox, he's wearing the number 15, but he's out playing around the middle of the field. Coralstown Kinnegad just holding that possession. We're over 8 1/4 minutes gone. There's only 1 point. Certainly, if Coralstown Kinnegad can limit this opportunities for St. Lomans, they'll be very happy.
They will, Ray. That would be the plan. We spoke about it. Can they play it on their terms? And right at the moment they are. They've had a fair share of possession. They haven't wasted too much. A couple of wides, but when Lomans are attacking, then they've taken a couple of shots from distance. So at the moment, Kinnegad will be very pleased with how the game is playing out, especially considering that they're playing against the wind. And the longer they can retain possession here in little movements like this, the happier they'll be.
Yeah, Owen O'Brien is on the ball again for his side. Players moving left and right off him, and he comes forward, and then the nice ball in over the top for Breen Cooney. Breen, runs into a heavy tackle there. Sam McCartan, I think, almost kind of slipped into it there, but Cooney goes to ground. I think he's going to be okay. Referee not going to take any action. Just had a quick word with Sam McCartan, but an opportunity here now for, I think, Breen Cooney, who has been taking most of the frees throughout the year for Coralstown Kinnegad, and they'll be hoping that he's back on his feet. Hopefully he will be. But an opportunity after 9.5 minutes, 1 point for St. Lomans. Kinnegad yet to get off the mark, but an opportunity now for Cooney. But Shane, at this stage against the breeze, probably the most important thing is to make sure he kicks the ball dead.
Yeah, he needs to kill it. They can't let Lomans transition from a ball breaking in the square and coming out at pace, although they are fairly well set up around the pitch to prevent a quick attack, Ray.
Yeah, Cooney back on his feet. He comes forward, he hits it. The groan in the crowd will tell you that one had gone off his foot and gone way across the front of the goals on a wide. And Jason Daly already has one ball, there's another one thrown out to him, but he's already heading to the 20-metre line ready with the kick out. Let's see what will Coralstown Kinnegad do. Will they just concede the possession? They do that as they drop back towards the 45-metre line, and David Whelan with the ball gives it out there now, but good defending there by Coralstown Kinnegad, defending right from the front there. Almost had a turnover, Shannon. That's what they'll be trying to do.
They will, but Lomans have worked on this very hard, and if they're giving up that short kick out, that there's a way to spread the ball across the pitch or get an extra pass and go back to Jason Daly. But Kinnegad are trying to trap them. We spoke about it during the year, where they kind of entice you into that kick and then try and trap you up against the sideline. So Lomans did okay to get out that time.
Yeah, Ronan O'Toole has the ball. He goes to ground as he was trying to make the run. Referee sees nothing wrong with it, and Sean Flanagan has the ball, and again 3 red jerseys around him cause him to take too many steps with the ball, and the referee right on top of things and awards the free out for Coralstown Kinnegad, and David Giles gives it off now to Wayne Fox. Wayne tries to inject a little bit of pace into him and just comes forward here towards the stand, and sees a little bit of space for Daniel Woods. Lays it off with the fist, the fullback back to Shane Fleming, who gives it back to Fox and returns it to Fleming. Little bit of space for Fleming to carry it forward. Going over to the right, takes the shot with the right foot, it's dropping in. Jason Daly has to keep an eye on it, and he did exactly that, but we could see the effect of the breeze on that shot.
We can, Ray, but look, still Kinnegad are going to be very happy with this first 11.5 minutes. They've only conceded a point. With Lomans possibly opted to play with the wind. That's 11 minutes of wind advantage that hasn't really registered anything for them. And as we said, Kinnegad are playing on their terms at the moment.
Yeah, but Ronan O'Toole has the ball down here inside the 13-metre line, but again, red jerseys everywhere around him, and he's forced to give it back to Danny McCartan. Danny forced to come back out, and Coralstown Kinnegad pushed St. Lomans back outside their own 45, and then ball is fired across here this side of the field, but it's gathered well there by Owen Hogan. And Owen had Breen Cooney coming in just at the same time as the ball, but maybe a split second late, and Cooney gets in the tackle, and Hogan goes to ground. It looks like we could have the first yellow card here. Referee Alan Coyne.
Yeah, it was a little reckless, Ray. It wasn't necessary. You know, I think Breen had enough time to plant his feet or change direction, but threw out a strong arm, and Hogan knew it was coming and probably made the most of it. Jack doesn't seem to be happy down here on the sideline. He's speaking with Barry Pearce about it, but I think it's a fair judgment, and now it's an opportunity for John Heslin with his first free from.
Yeah, he's going to be probably just around the 40 metres up by the time he strikes it. 13 on the clock, 1 point only the score so far coming from the foot of Sam McCartan, but Heslin hoping to double the lead here now. Takes it with the right foot. We're right behind it here and just about inside the post, but it is inside the post. First point of the day for John Heslin. But as you said, Shane, 13 minutes gone, 2 points on the board. And Coralstown Kinnegad have had a lot of possession themselves, and they'll be quite happy with how it's going. They'll be trying to hope, I suppose, for more of the same for the rest of this half anyway.
They will, and look, Lomans will grow into this a little bit, I think. But yeah, Kinnegad will be happy enough. It's all about the amount of possession Kinnegad can have. But turning over this kick out, their own kick out here now, is not what they want to see happening, Ray.
No, Sam McCartan got a hand on it there, and they have a chance here coming down the left side. And David Whelan, or in fact it's Enda Gaffney and Enda just holding the possession, looking for options around him. O'Toole, as always, is there and available and takes it and then sets up the play, holding on to that ball, throwing it off his left foot, gives it back to Danny McCartan. Danny again with the head up, looking to see what options are there, and one of them is Jack Gagan here, the number 5. Push forward almost into the right half forward position. He gives it back to Whelan. Whelan back in again to Danny McCartan. Kevin Regan coming on to that ball. He's inside the 45. Lays it back here. There's a chance for Enda Gaffney, and Enda with the shot. He'll back himself, fires it in, but this time it's tugged to the left and wide. Another opportunity gone for St. Lomans. So we're 14 and a half minutes, 2 points, one from the foot of Sam McCartan, the second one a free from John Heslin. The only 2 scores here in this Shane Murtagh Senior Football Championship Final for 2023. Stephen McNevin, he's ready with his kick out, looking around, see has he an option to go short. St. Lomans putting pressure on him, will force him to go long where it becomes 50-50, and he eventually does fire it out, and John Heslin is right under that, goes high, calls the mark, takes the ball quickly, gives it on now to David Whelan. Shane, is something that Coralstown Kinnegad won't want to persist in, kicking long ball out into that centre where John Heslin is mopping up a lot of balls, and as we've seen from the previous one where Sam McCartan and David Whelan combined as well, so they'll want to try and work it out short, but Lomans will try and prevent them from doing that.
Yeah, and they're doing it very well at the minute, and Shane Dempsey with a strike on goal.
Yeah,
confident player, and that'll raise his confidence, Ray. He had an earlier effort that dropped a little short into the keeper's hands, but yeah, you're right. Lomans have this nice zonal press put on the Kinnegad, so they're squeezing space as much as they're keeping an eye on players, and it is forcing them along or into this position here where Wayne Fox has to work it out from traffic now.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a risk there, but gets away with it. Good kick from the young keeper. The ball is here now with Liam Daly. Liam with a little bit of space, heads into it, and it looks like Coralstown Kinnegad have gotten away with that one. A nice ball from David Giles. He gives it on now to Shane Fleming. Fleming is fouled. Referee has the whistle blown, and Fleming just will take his time. Is he going to take it short himself? He is. Brian Cooney was trying to get over there to take it, but Josh Gahan now, he has it. He wears the number 7, but he'll attack at every opportunity. Carries it forward in towards the 20-metre line. Nothing on available for him in there, so he has forced to come back, and the ball is fisted back now as far as Jason Mackin. Mackin comes into the centre. Gives it on to Wayne Fox, back to Mackin again, and through the hands it goes here now, and Fox steps away from attacking, and a nice fisted ball over there to the far side where Brian Cooney has it. Brian with the left foot fires in. It's a dangerous ball. Darren Giles was trying to get on it there, but Jason Daly was alert, came out, got the 2 fists on it, get it away from the danger area and find his man. Now St. Lomans with an opportunity to break. Enda Gaffney gives it on to Ron O'Toole. O'Toole steps inside and then goes back on his left, combines again with Gaffney, trying to become available then that he can take a return pass. Gaffney still goes forward, being fouled, goes to ground. Nice work there from the St. Lomans men, and another opportunity for John Heslin, which certainly this free is well within his range. 17 minutes gone, 3 points to no score. Coralstown Kinnegad at the other end, Shane, maybe not taking the best options of playing against the wind, maybe need to work that ball in a little bit closer, have a little bit more patience.
Yeah, possibly, Ray. We'll just watch John Heslin go through his routine here now. This is very suitable for a right-footed kicker with the bit of the breeze that's there. I know he puts in hours and hours of work on this, so it's very routine for him, not necessarily for anybody else.
Yeah, and the reaction, you can see it from the Coralstown Kinnegad defenders there, heads down as that one just sails over the crossbar. No mistake from Heslin. 4 points to no score as Steve McNevin is back out again on the 20-metre line again. We see 3 players from St. Lomans right around the D and almost turned it over. Good work though to get the possession back, and again the Coralstown Kinnegad man goes to ground there. I think that was Kieran Daly Senior, I think it was, wearing number 2. Yeah, he's back on, but slipped to the ground there as players converged on him, but the referee maybe kindly said it is only a throw-in ball. And Heston, great strength from the throw-in, and he wins it, gives it back out to Danny McCartan. McCartan back now to Andy Gaffney as Gaffney stops and has a look around, lays it back as far as Kevin Regan. Regan back to Sam McCartan. They'll be patient, they'll go through the hands with it. Jack Egan has it. Jack on here now to David Whelan as we look down below us, and there's a man spare here on the right hand side, but Whelan decides to hold on to it, goes back to the left, and then Sam McCartan comes in, takes the possession from him, and McCartan on now to O'Toole, and O'Toole holds his man and then tries to dummy him. Good work there by Owen O'Brien, just forced him to go back out the field, and he's gone now to the centre of the pitch and kicks one across the field where Kevin Regan is encouraged to come forward. Regan holds the ball, leads it off to Gaffney. They combine again, and Jack Gagan, he's the right half back, pops up over in the left corner forward position. Now Shane Dempsey with the time to hop it, steady himself, back himself, fire it in, and this time off the outside of the upright, just drops down to the left and wide, but again confident play from the St. Lomans players there.
Yeah, and the game is getting into a little bit of pattern now that Stephen McNevin is struggling to get his kick away. It's not all on Stephen, there's very little movement for him. Lomans are pressing, he's kicking into a wind, and just again we spoke earlier about Kinnegad needing possession and holding on to it. Here's another one that's after being turned over again back to Jack Gagan.
Jack back on his own 65, no one comes to him, so he has time to carry it forward and give it on now to Sam McCartan. Sam, he drops at number 11, Darren Giles trying to get hands on him, but he has time to get it away to Heston. Heston goes across the field, David Giles working hard, trying to prevent Heston from picking out a pass that he wants, but he has time then to look up and see the Ronan O'Toole. O'Toole on to Flanagan and back to O'Toole and on to Sam McCartan, and Sam from about 31 or 2 metres out, this time with the outside the right foot, clips it over the bar. The second of the day from Sam McCartan. A lovely score there.
Yeah, it's excellent football because Sam McCartan demanded the ball here on the sideline from Jack Egan right in front of it, and he finds himself on the other side of the pitch popping into the space. So it's constant movement, it's constant rotation, nobody is static in the Lomans attack, and look again, serious pressure on this kick out.
Yeah, McNevin does very well there to pop it into the chest there of Liam Daly, and as Liam was trying to come forward there, Rushing Hogan tugs the jersey, commits the foul. The referee just takes a note of it, allows the play now to develop as James Maxwell gives it on now to Owen O'Brien. Owen O'Brien down the left hand side here. Breen Cooney making the run, just stays out there and holds his man out there, and O'Brien comes in, fires it in, we're right behind it, it's dropping over the bar, and that's after 20, almost 21 minutes, and that's the score that this Coralstown Kinnegad team need. It's also given a lift to their support as well. Just brings it back 5 points to 1.
Yeah, badly needed. They didn't want to go in at half time without registering a score. It's a little tonic for them. The gap is manageable, 4 points, as good as Lomans have been for 10 or 7 or 8 minutes. But a lovely kick by O'Brien, and he's working extremely hard as well. I mentioned that he's tracking Ronan O'Toole, but to have the confidence to carry it. They don't have an out-and-out target man inside the way they're set up at the moment, Ray, to deliver a ball a little earlier, so he had to carry it to that zone. He had no option, so he took the shot on. It was a beautiful strike.
Yeah, Lomans have taken the kick out and have the possession, and they're moving again confidently around the field with it. John Hesson lays it off now, and Kevin Regan bursts through the gap, heads towards the Coralstown Kinnegad 45. Lovely ball threaded in. Danny McCartan has it, closed down nicely there, and the ball is on the ground. Shane Dempsey didn't get it up in the first attempt. Ron Doyle putting in the tackles on him, and then good work there by the defenders there, and they forced Dempsey to take too many steps. He's not too happy with that decision, kicks the ball away, and therefore that lack of discipline there, the referee is going to bring the ball forward. And again, as the clock ticks away nicely, 22 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock.
But the pass by Kevin Regan, Ray, the pass by Kevin Regan is something that a lot of teams are not encouraged to do, to take a risk. But it was a fabulous pass, and had it been collected by Danny McCartan on the first effort, it would have been a super scoring opportunity. And Lomans would like to do a little bit more of that, but Kinnegad aren't allowing them, and that's where we say Kinnegad, to a certain degree, are playing on their terms.
Yeah, Liam Daly is coming forward again, leads it off to O'Brien again. O'Brien, of course, his confidence was high from the last score, but this time tugs it to the left and wide. And I think Sam McCartan might be going into the referee's notebook here. That's the second time he's had a tackle coming in on a player, and I think Alan Coyne is going to take action this time. He allowed the play to go on, and it looks like Sam McCartan is going to get a yellow card for his trouble. He is indeed. And again, just puts himself under a little bit of pressure. Shane has to be careful for the rest of the game now.
He does, and look, Sam can be a physical player. He's an excellent footballer, as we know, but he's a big guy too. He does and can impose himself when he needs to, so I'm sure he's well able to carry it too. An inter-county footballer is very aware of everything that's going on around him, and you know, it's not one of those days where you'll have sloppy tackles. It's a lovely day for football, so he should be able to carry the yellow.
Yeah, Jason Daly is forced to go along with the kick out, and Lomans win the breaking ball, and O'Toole has it now on the Coralstown Kinnegad 45, forced to come inside. He does exactly that, and then with the right foot tries to play a ball through here to Shane Denton, but Ronan Doyle, he's so experienced, he goes to ground, does very well, gets the possession on front of Dempsey, and that lifts the Coralstown Kinnegad crowd. And now Dan Leach with a chance to come down along the side then here on the stand side, gives it into Wayne Fox. Fox, with everyone moving away from him, he holds that possession, gives it on here now to Breen Cooney. Breen out to the far side, almost confusion there with himself and Josh Gahan, but Josh comes inside and then a wasteful kick there with the outside of the right foot, and that time,
yeah, a lot of it is good, Ray, but the parts that are not good for Kinnegad will be terribly frustrating for Pascal and for Jack here on the sideline. You know, Wayne Fox is the guy that they want to get the ball into. He's the puppet master. He gives the pass, he makes a brilliant cut and run behind John Heslin, but they obviously, Breen Cooney didn't see him and played it, and then Breen's pass hit the floor. It took longer to pick up, so it's those little things in their accuracy that isn't good enough at the moment.
Yeah, the kick out again, Jason Daly forced to go along. Referee signaling the push in the back and one of the Coralstown Kinnegad men, and they have the free, and the ball is moved here now to Owen O'Brien. Owen, their only scorer so far, as he carries the ball forward. Has support there from Darren Giles. Giles takes it from him, bounces off a couple of St. Lomans men. It's in the corner where it's picked up there by Liam Daly. Liam does well, he's under severe pressure, but he gives it back as far as Dan Leach. Dan just holds the ball back to Wayne Fox. Fox closed down, and great strength there by John Heslin. Fouled then by Dan Leach, free for St. Lomans, and they'll try and transition quickly now. And no better man than O'Toole. O'Toole gives it on here now to the number 2, that's Owen Hogan. Owen looks up, tries to find Dempsey in there inside in the corner. Too much on it, harmlessly out over the end line. 25, almost 26 minutes, 5 points to 1. And will Paddy Dowd down on the other side, will he be concerned, do you think, about this?
There'll be certainly parts of it that he won't be happy with, Ray. A little bit of it's being forced at the moment. Feels like the players themselves are trying to breathe a bit of life into this game, because it's at a pace that's probably a little lower than anybody would want to play that, and the accuracy is a little bit lower, but they're trying, but they're probably forcing things a little bit. I noticed Wayne Fox getting really agitated with Dan Leach on that last play, because Wayne got closed down by John Heslin, but Dan Leach should have given him the pass way earlier.
Yeah, David Giles carries this one in. It looked like it was very, very close to the ground there as it came to the Coralstown Kinnegad, but he does awful well to hold on to it. And an opportunity here for James Maxwell. Swings the right foot at it. Is he going to keep it in play? Shane Fleming is there, but the referee saying there's nothing wrong with it. Tackle on Fleming there, and the ball has gone out over the end line and wide there. And another opportunity again, maybe rushed a little bit there by the Coralstown Kinnegad. I think it was James Maxwell, the initial shot there, but there was an opportunity there for him. That's the frustrating part, is when they do the hard work to get it in there, that they're not getting an end product.
Yeah, and it is a difficult breeze to kick against, but sometimes you can fist those over, Ray, instead of trying to curl them really high. Throw a strong fist at them, and it'll maybe just above crossbar height. It'll drill through the wind a little bit more, but look, the occasion a little bit is probably getting to a few players. They're not all at the pitch of the game, but certainly it's in the balance still. There's no clear winner here yet.
Yeah, and Coralstown Kinnegad do very well on that kick out for St. Lomans, and they get a free over on the terrace side, and they've already shifted it across here to this side of the field in front of the stand where Liam Daly, he'd attack at every opportunity. Daniel Woods is the number 3, but he's out the field, following John Heslin more or less everywhere he goes. Wayne Fox gives it on now to Darren Giles. Giles on The centre half back pushing forward. He lays it off to Fox, and then the ball given back down to the number 6. Then that was Jason Mackin, but again the shot not what was required there, and Jason Daly quite happy to let that one go out over the end line and wide. Clock says we're almost 28 minutes gone. 5 points to St. Lomans, 1 for Kinnegad as Jason Daly finds his man over on the far side, and in acres of space his own Hogan, he'll carry it forward as well, and then clips a nice ball forward straight into O'Toole's chest on the run. Mark called, opportunity here for O'Toole. 1 minute of additional time called as we head down into the last 3 minutes of this half, and O'Toole with the left foot, he doesn't connect out of the way he was hoping for it. Stephen McNeville will be quite happy with that there, takes it down all the time in the world. No Lomans player in front of the goals at all, and they have it out here this side of the field, and Liam Daly carries it forward, lays it off to Breen Cooney. Breen goes inside, holds the ball, fisted, left-handed fist inside, finds a teammate, and then Daniel Woods, the latest man to come onto it. Woods carries it forward to the space, so he'll take advantage of it, gives it inside. He's the full back, has Liam Daly in support over here in the corner. Daly turns back, gives it back as far as David Giles. Giles with a couple of players available over on the far side of the pitch. One of them is Josh Gahan. Gahan takes it down, gives it on to Breen Coney. Breen looks up, seeing what options are there for him. He just gives it on then to James Maxwell. Maxwell coming back, holds the ball up, back then again as far as Mackin. Mackin just inside Lomans' 65 metre line as he ambles across the field, and then a fisted ball finds his teammate. It's Gahan again. Gahan looks up, right footed pass over to the far side where James Maxwell comes onto it again. Maxwell, this time they're being a lot more patient on it, trying to engineer an opening here, and the ball is fired across to this side of the field for Owen O'Brien. He's the man that got their only score, he's carrying it forward inside the 45, and back now with Shane Fleming. Fleming again comes across inside, and then with the right foot sees there's a man in loads of space over there, calls the mark, and the referee's thinking that he's allowing the mark. Chance now for Josh Gahan. He just to take his time here. We're almost 30 minutes on the clock as Gahan curves this one in with the right foot. It's dropping in, but it's going to come across the front of the post. It's kept in play. It is indeed. The Lomans do turn it over. They have the possession back there, but again, great work there by Darren Giles. Chance for Dan Leach. Shot! Oh! What an opportunity there.
Oh, super chance. A great turnover by Darren Giles. Quick hands to Dan Leach. Look, he blasted. He did the right thing. He put it across the goalkeeper and just outside the edge of the post. But those are the things that Kinnegad are looking to live off, Ray. You know, stifle the game, hold the control, get a turnover and an opportunity like that. But look, Lomans survived on that occasion. They could have narrowed the gap to 1, which
would have been a great tonic going into half time, but if ands and buts, and it's gone wide, and that's the fact of it. 5 points to St. Lomans, 1 for Coralstown. Kinnegad from the kick out. John Hesson was fouled, and Lomans have the possession, looking for Shane Dempsey as this ball heads very, very close to the sideline, and indeed he's gone out over the sideline. Nothing he could do about it, and Shane Dempsey just throws the ball back. It's a bit of greeting from a couple of Coralstown Kinnegad men, but line ball taken by Ronan Doyle. We're 12 seconds over the additional minute, and the referee signals that is the last action of the half-time here in TG Cusick Park. St. Lomans 5 points, Coralstown Kinnegad a solitary point, but as we said, Shane, a 4-point game, and Kinnegad's plan would have been to remain in this game playing against the wind, and they have achieved their first aim anyway.
Yeah, and you know what, their fans are very happy. It's down here in front of us, Ray. You know, you might be thinking our team has only scored 1 point. We've had a few sloppy shots at goal. Now, credit to Lomans' defensive setup, something that Paddy Dowdle has and his management team have worked on this year. Kinnegad can't get their hands on the ball inside the D in the Lomans area, so all their shots are coming outside of that D. It's outside the scoring zone. Now, in the second half, there'll be a bigger area for Lomans that they'll have to protect from taking shots, because they do have Kinnegad do have guys that can strike off the boot very well. Shane Fleming, Darren Giles, we've seen Owen O'Brien curl over a lovely one. You've Breen Cooney, Wade Fox and Dan Leach. Like, all of those boys will be able to kick a score with a little bit more distance, with a small bit of space that will present itself in the second half. So lots of positives from a Kinnegad perspective. Lomans would feel that, yeah, they're in control, but they haven't imposed themselves on the game, and it's a dangerous area. I would expect that at the start of this second half we're going to see pace, a huge amount of pace from both sides. At least Lomans will try to do it. Kinnegad might stay the way we are, stay where they are. Don't take too many risks going forward. But they've had their fair share of possession. They've dealt with it pretty well. Maybe a couple of the shot choices, but those shot choices in the second half with the wind on the back are the correct choices. So it's just the conditions, I think, against them a little bit.
Yeah, very intriguing position here at half time here in TG Cusick Park. We're going to take a break from the commentary here. I'll be down on the pitch side in the next couple of minutes with a guest or two, but we'll be back in good time for the second half.
And the first one we'd like to welcome is Daniel Scad of Shandona.
He'll probably finish at half time. It'll only be a minute or two anyway. He could be working.
We ask him a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. The next man is Dara Siri from Mullingar. Put your hands together for Dara.
Just the two of us. Jonathan, perfect, yeah.
Our next one out, please put your hands together for Owen Mulveen.
I know. Yeah, no,
Our next player is Senate Baker of Colley. Also from Colley making his appearance is Conor McCormack from the Colley Club. And finally, from the Kerry South Club, please welcome Stephen Smith. And there's Westmeath players who have made their first appearance in 2023. Joined here by Murtagh, Thomas Westmeath, Larry, Frank and Ted.
half time here in TG Cusick Park in this county final. The Lomans 5 points, Coralstown Kinnegad 1, Paula Donovan. Who do you think will be the happier of the two sides going in at half time?
Well, I certainly think that the game plan from the start from Pascal Cahill and Jack Cooney would have been to stay in the game at half time and make sure they were still in it, and they've done that, so they'll be happy with that. I suppose a big thing too for Kinnegad is that they haven't conceded a goal at this stage, because a goal for St. Lomans and the floodgates could open and they could push on, and then it's too much of a challenge for Kinnegad to get back into it. They've managed to stay in the game. They've only registered 1 point, but but just before half time they missed a great chance of a goal. Now that's disappointing. Probably more disappointing for Jack and for Pascal is that they kicked some poor wides there just when they took the wrong option when they're in front of goals and kicked a few wides when they should have just worked the ball into a better position. Lomans on the other hand, they started off brightly, lots of possession and all the rest, but Owen O'Brien's doing a great job man marking on Ronan O'Toole, and he's the catalyst for so much of the Lomans play when he dictates where the runners and picks out the players inside. And if you stop Ronan O'Toole, you can stop a lot of St. Lomans here. He's doing a great job in them. And look, Dempsey's had a few shots and they've got some points, but they got 3 points in a row, but Kinnegad stopped them from pushing on then. So Paddy Dowd he'll be worried, I'd say, and Pascal Cahill and Jack Cooney will be quite pleased they're still in the game.
Yeah, exactly, and their game plan has worked to a T really so far. They're still in it, and in fact very unlucky that they weren't closer at half time. Dan needed that snapshot. Maybe it needed a right footed shot. He's predominantly a left footed kicker, just grazed the butt of the post going across Jason Daly. I don't think if it was inside the post Daly would have got to it, but it just proves the threat that Kinnegad have still. Yeah, and that goal would have given Kinnegad, the team, a huge lift, and the players and supporters a huge lift as well. But they're definitely still in this game, and they've hunted really well in packs and they've closed them down here in numbers, and the Lomans players haven't had much time on the ball at all, and then they're trying to work it into the Breen Cooney's picked up a yellow card, so he's got to watch it there, but Kinnegad just haven't had enough
clear efforts at goal, but they'll work on that now in the second half, and they definitely have every chance still.
You know, when you come out here on pitch side ball, you can see the effect the breeze has, and it will be favouring Coralstown Kinnegad in the second half.
Yeah.
And some of those shots that they took in the first half will probably be the right option down here in this other end.
Yeah, again, it's a very strong wind, as you say, and it's only when you're down in pitch you actually realise that. But Kinnegad they'll still be patient in their build-up and still have to pick the right options. They can't just shoot willy-nilly from far outs just because they have the wind behind them. They still have to get the ball into the right angles.
Yeah, but look, we'll finish up here at half-time. St. Lomans in the lead, they have their nose in the lead, 5 points to 1, all to play for in the second half. Both sides back out on the pitch here for the second half. I see a substitute coming in down below us for St. Lomans. TJ Cox wearing the number 17. We'll see who he'll replace in a second, but changes.
Yeah, it's possibly Danny McCartan by the looks of it, Ray.
He's here.
Oh no, Danny's here. Oh, Tristan Graham,
Tristan Graham is
and
the man that's gone.
a switch that has been made a few times during the year. Yeah, number 10, Tristan Graham has been replaced
by number 7, TJ Cox. Yeah, and Cox will inject plenty of pace into this St. Lomans forward line as well. He's got it in Oceans, but Shane, as we get ready for the second half, it was a great opportunity to goal there just before half time for Coralstown Kinnegad, which would have made a difference, but I'm sure they've come out, first team out, and they'll be well fired up ready for this second half. And referee Alan Kine gets us underway, and Green Cooney goes to the clouds, a great catch. First opportunity for Coralstown Kinnegad to get on the attack. Dan Leach shows out in front of his man, about to take him on, heads to the 20-metre line, he's forced to come back, holding the ball. James Maxwell plays it back out and comes now into the centre where Wayne Fox has time as TJ Cox just closes down a runner and he forces him to go back to the left hand side. Fists the ball inside again where James Maxwell has it this time, moves it on now to Liam Daly. Ball over the top to the corner back, that's Ronan Doyle. He gets the ball and lays it back. Breen Cooney is there again, and Cooney back down as far as Maxwell, and it's almost a carbon copy of the first half, only at the other end of the field as St. Lomans filter back in, 2 players only inside the Coralstown Kinnegad defending end of the pitch. And they have that possession here still with David Giles. Need to show enough patience now. There's no hurry on them as they get it inside. There's a chance here for the wing back there, and that's Liam Daly. And I think that's just what this game needs, Shane, at the start of the second half.
Yeah, look, we said it, Kinnegad would have been pleased enough going in at half time with the gap that was in it. They recognise now that Lomans have a much bigger area to protect. The shooting zone has gotten quite a bit bigger with the wind on their back, and they're trying to squeeze Jason Daly's kick out where they gave it to him early in the first half. They're going to try and squeeze and make it difficult for Lomans to come out against this wind.
Yeah, Daly gets this one away, and they have it worked across here from right to left where Enda Gaffney has a little bit of time and space to carry it forward, and he's heading across his own 65-metre line, gives the ball inside. Flicked along the ground there by the cornerback. The number 4 is Oisin Hogan, but picked up there by Darren Giles for Coralstown Kinnegad. He's fouled. TJ Cox just runs across in front of him, stops him from taking the quick free, and Giles just picks it up then and takes the free and gets us underway again. The fullback is Daniel Woods. He's fisted it over to the far side for the man who just got the last score. That's Liam Daly. He's been excellent right throughout this campaign for Coralstown Kinnegad. Breen Cooney has it, and Breen looks up. Centre half back is Jason Mackin in a lot of space. Josh Gahan has made himself available down in front of him. Mackin continues his run, and the fist of ball inside is to Wayne Fox. Fox back to Fleming. Fleming dropped it. Does very well to get a toe on it. 2 players, great commitment, going to the ground for the ball. The referee allows it to develop because no foul committed, and Wayne Fox then with the outside of the right foot as the end of Gaffney was diving in there, trying to put pressure on the kick, forced him to pull it across the front of the post and wide. And second half starting, Shane, and Coralstown Kinnegad crowd really getting into the game now.
Yeah, and Oisin Hogan was very lazy to toe poke a ball that ended up in the turnover, then the free brought forward a bit, and you know, you have to be totally tuned in at this level, Ray, and you need to bend your back, you need to get the ball in your hands. It's a pity from a Kinnegad perspective that Wayne Fox's shot didn't go over the bar, because again it sucked Lomans out a little bit more, and they'd see that as a threat, but when it goes wide they mightn't be so concerned with it, but they are struggling to get it up across the halfway line.
Yeah, Kevin Regan has it over there. my counting is correct, that's 9 wides for Coralstown Kinnegad, 4 for St. Lomans, and Jack Gagan has possession here now, and a little bit of space in front of him as he carries it forward, lays it off to O'Toole. O'Toole being closed down straight away by Owen O'Brien. O'Brien commits the foul, no advantage accruing, free for St. Lomans. O'Toole takes it quickly, looking for options around him, has Kevin Regan available. Regan just lays it off to Sam McCartan. Sam holds on to it, gives it back to David Whelan. Whelan from Coralstown Kinnegad 65 metre line, injects a bit of pace into this, carries it forward, lays it off to Jack Gagan. We're back where we started with Sam McCartan, just outside the 45 metre line. Kevin Regan has it now, doesn't just opt for the shot and just holds the possession, moves it across the field, and St. Lomans with that avenue shut down for them to come across into the centre for Danny McCartan. Almost nonchalantly steps around it into a little bit of space, but then is forced to give it back to Regan. Regan through the hands to Sam McCartan, and on now here to Jack Gagan. Gagan looks up, toes it off his left foot, turns around. David Whelan is available for him. Whelan has run with 2 on the run inside. Owen O'Brien is right on top from there, following him. O'Toole does very well, gives it inside to TJ Cox. TJ has to give it back to Jack Gagan, who gives it on to Shane Dempsey. Dempsey thought about taking the pop, he does come centre, and then tackle comes in, referee allows it to go on, and then gives the free out with James Matthew that came in with the tackle there. Referee saw nothing wrong with it, free out awarded for over carrying then, and Kinnegad come away with the ball. St. Lomans crowd not too happy with that as Josh Gahan gets away there from Sean Flanagan, carries it forward and then clips a nice little ball in, and Shane Fleming from just inside the 45 calls the mark. We're right on line with that, Shane, the correct decision and a great chance for Fleming. He's a good kicker normally.
Yeah, very smart decision and great awareness of his position on the pitch.
Now he's fired it.
He's converted it, Ray, and that's excellent. If I have a little criticism of Shane Dempsey in his gameplay, I find he's a little bit slow to take the first opportunity to get his shot off. He had made space, he didn't take the shot, he took another play, he ended up shifting a heavy shoulder. Referee was right on top of it, and Kinnegad will be really delighted now.
Yeah, 5-3 now as David Whelan comes forward, a little bit loose with the solo there, and the ball is taken away from Darren Giles, puts his body on the line, wins the ball back for his side. In fact, it might even have been James Maxwell that threw himself in there, gets the possession over, foul committed then by St. Lomans, and all this is given more and more confidence to the Coralstown Kinnegad man. David Giles, 3 St. Lomans players around him. Tackle not legal to the referee, and a little bit of dissent here. I think the referee is bringing the ball forward here, Shane. I think he is.
He is, yeah. Frustration setting in for Sean Flanagan and some of his Lomans teammates. They are trying to swarm tackle, they are trying to do it right. Referee saw something in that instance. And look, it's another opportunity for Shane Fleming. It's a good distance out, Ray, off the ground, but he does have a good strike of the ball.
Yeah, we were pitch side at half time there, and the breeze is very, very strong as he gets all of his energy behind that one and he fires it over the bar. The second point, one from a mark, and that's from the free from over 50 metres out, and we're back to a 1 point game. And this is certainly what we were hoping for in this county final. A 1 point game, almost 7 minutes into the second half. St. Lomans with Jason Daly back down on the right hand side. Just goes short, and the Gaffney makes himself available. Gaffney has Darrow O'Keefe inside as Coralstown Kinnegad just retreat to the 45 metre line. They'll allow St. Lomans to have the ball back in there, and then they'll put a squeeze on it, I'm sure. And Sam McCartan is into possession. Over to the far side it goes, and now Kevin Regan bursts forward, carries it in to the Coralstown Kinnegad half of the field. Darren Giles trying to get a tackle on run on 2, has the ball on a string over there, gets it back into his hand. Back then, the referee, I think it was a push on O'Toole as he delivered the ball away there, and a little bit of an unnecessary foul there by the Coralstown Kinnegad. They'd done well to keep O'Toole quiet. He had played the ball backwards, but then just a push on him there as he was hand passing the ball away, and it's a free. O'Toole is going to take this himself. Everyone in Westmeath GAA delighted with his nomination for an All-Star this year, and he's been on a lot of ball in this game so far, but yet to get on the scoreboard. This time he rifles one in with the left foot and just proves the difficulty in kicking into that breeze. Shane, that one across the front of the goals.
Yeah, obviously very difficult when normally John Hesson would step up even that far wide on the right if it wasn't breezy, but look, he backed himself. He had a go. It went across the goals. But yeah, Ronan's been on an awful lot of ball. His feet are so quick and he's evasive. But you must say that Owen O'Brien is doing a decent job on him at the moment, and things are going. A lot of things going in Kinnegad's favour at the moment.
Yeah, push on the back there. So the referee on Brian Coney, as he was trying to go high for that kick out. Free awarded, the free is already taken, and Liam Daly has come forward again. Liam with 1 point already to his name, carries it forward. Again, trying to engineer another opportunity. Coralstown Kinnegad will pull it through the hands. Daly has it again, gives it back to Fleming. Fleming those 2 points, one from a mark and one from a free. Flicks a little ball over Ronan O'Toole's head on to Jason Mackin. Mackin on now to Fox. Fox reverses it back to Daniel Woods, who gives it off now to Fleming. Again, all the St. Lomans players back inside their own 65-metre line. Jason Mackin holds that possession. Roland Doyle is back there, sitting on the 65-metre line. No one near him, and he just ambles forward with it now. And chance here again. Ronan O'Toole was almost ready to pounce, and James Maxwell's little touch there that didn't seem to be just what it needed to be, but he does well to hold on to possession. David Giles now with the ball as Wayne Fox makes the run from Giles, holds on to it, fists the ball on here now to Dan Leach. Dan just outside the St. Lomans 45-metre line, steps away and holds on to the possession, and then nonchalantly just flicks it over here to Maxwell. Wayne Fox is demanding it, he's got it, steps inside, looping around as Fleming, as the Lomans player slips. Fleming thought about pulling the trigger, then lays the ball off to Maxwell. Maxwell steps inside, can he pull the trigger? Gets it inside to Brian Coney, but there's an awful lot of blue jerseys around him, and then the referee deems that the ball was touched on the ground. He's the closest to it, Shane. It was hard to see, there was a lot of blue jerseys around him, but it's an opportunity here now for Darren Giles and for Coralstown Kinnegad to tie things up here. We're just over 10 minutes gone in the second half. Giles going to kick it with the left foot. 5 points to 4 as we stand, with Darren Giles with the ball in his hand on the 20-metre line. He'll go through his own routine. He's taking his time, ambles in, and with the left foot he launches, clips it over the bar. We're all tied up here in TG Cusack Park in the final of the Shay Murtagh Senior Football Championship for 2023.
Yeah, an absolute gift for Kinnegad. I didn't see it, Ray. I couldn't see it from there was bodies blocking it. But if he picked it off the ground after working so hard to turn them over, Kinnegad had worked the ball well in narrow areas.
Jack Gagan has gathered that kick out from Jason Daly, moves it on to Ronan O'Toole. O'Toole is forced to come back, give it to Gagan and take the return pass a little bit of space. And with that left foot, a beautiful left foot, over there to Kevin Regan. Regan, he's pushed up from the number 7 position, and that's a lovely score there from the wing back.
Yeah, an excellent score. Two real quality kicks in that. One from Ronan O'Toole across the defence to the man in open space, and as we've seen, it's difficult to score into those goals. A fine kick by Kevin Regan, and that will settle Lomans at least to get one on the scoreboard in this half.
Yeah, 6-5. They lead again, 11.5 minutes into the second half, as Stephen McNevin launches one, right footed, gets great distance out of it, gathered very well out there by David Whelan. Whelan leaves it to Jack Gagan, he's right half back partner, who's giving it on now to Sam McCartan. St. Lomans attacking again. TJ Cox steps inside, an opportunity for Cox. He takes the shot, fires it in, but this time it's gone to the right and wide. Certainly another opportunity there for St. Lomans, but you know, we look for that injection at the start of the second half, where Lomans are normally very good, but instead it was Coralstown Kinnegad to come out and tie the game up inside the opening 10 minutes or so. So it's really game on here, Shane.
It is game on, Ray, and look, they've gone long with a couple of kickouts and been successful with it. The last one, David Whelan fetched really well, so they're gone short and going to work it out here. But they'll be very confident now with the position that they find themselves in, and knowing how much work has been done on fitness and on strength. They won't question whether they can last this pace. It's whether Lomans can stay with them and are hungry enough. But it's going to be a real battle now for the next 18 minutes or so, Ray.
Yeah, Brian Coney did very, very well to win the ball there, because you know, Coralstown Kinnegad went short with the kick out. They were struggling to get it out, and the ball was a little bit loose there, but Coney showed his bravery, and then the ball fired down the line here by Wayne Fox. He was looking for Josh Gahan, but just overhit the mark there, and Lomans turn the possession over and they have it again now with Sam McCartan, heads out across his own 45, has a man on the shoulder. It's the man that's just put his side into the lead. That's Kevin Regan on to TJ Cox. Ron O'Toole is there for support if he needs him. He takes the ball from him and looks up like the conductor of an orchestra. He has the ball, flicks it inside, but again doesn't go to hand. And opportunity here, but then no one able to get the clean possession until it is Green Cooney that steps in, and Cooney has put in a huge shift for his side in this opening 43 minutes or so of this game. Quick free taken over to Shane Fleming, very close to the side. He does well to keep it in play, turns back, has support coming forward. Liam Daly gives it on to Daniel Woods. Daniel comes more to the right as Wayne Fox comes in on the play. Fox has Daly coming through the centre. Gives it, or in fact it was Jason Mackin, and unfortunately pass wasn't where it needed to be. And St. Lomans get the possession back again, and now John Heston coming forward. Heston looks up, comes over to his left, then goes centre. No options there first time, and then with the right foot he's asking an awful lot of Ron O'Toole, but no better man than O'Toole to step in. Lovely little flick without taking the ball into his hand, holds the possession. Back to Andy Gaffney. Gaffney now with Sam McCartan. McCartan again coming centre, looking for players to come off the left. One of them is his brother Danny. Danny has a look up, being shepherded across the field there by the Coralstown Kinnegad defenders. Gives it back to Jack Gagan. Jack holds the ball and then has to give it back all the way to his own 65-metre line where Darragh O'Keefe is available. And O'Keefe with a fisted pass over to the far side to Andy Gaffney. Gaffney with the pass again on to O'Toole. O'Toole gets a little bit of head of steam up and jinks away, and then very unlike him loses possession but manages to keep it for his side. He just gets a toe and it kicks it back as far as Kevin Regan. And Regan with all the time in the world to find the right half back. That's Jack Gagan. Jack about to be tackled, moves it on here to the left corner back there. Sushin Hogan is up there now. The right corner back is Owen Hogan. They hold that possession nice and patient, back with David Whelan across to the full back Darragh O'Keefe again, and he has a chance to carry this ball into the Coralstown Kinnegad half the field. Looks up, sees what options are on, and Sam McCartan is making himself available. McCartan moves it on to TJ Cox. TJ just holds it, gives it back as far as Darragh O'Keefe again. O'Keefe looking for somebody to make the run out. John Heston and Shane Fleming collide there, but referee sees nothing wrong, and Lomans play the ball through the hands here. Owen Hogan has it again, has Jack Gagan here on the side, and if he wants to use him. And now a little bit of afters there. We see the incident there with the two players coming together, so the referee is going to call the two of them in. Let's see what action is he going to take.
Yeah, and if he'd seen it properly, it'd be a free in for Lomans. Shane Fleming made a drive at John Heston from off the ball. You give him a dig, but look, it's illegal. If the referee had seen it properly, it'd be a free in, but it seems like he's going to chastise both of them to try and keep it quiet. You have a substitute coming in.
Substitution coming on. It's number 21 is Jack Torpy that's coming in, and he's going to replace Dan Leach. Dan, remember, had that goal opportunity just before half time, but he's put in a big shift. A young player, 46 minutes or so, and he comes off. He'll be disappointed. He certainly put in a big shift for his side, but the referee is going to restart the play here with a throw ball here right out just outside the D of the Coralstown Kinnegad man. John Heston goes to it. There's a couple of players on the ground. What's the referee doing? He's looking on at him. Ball picked off the ground, possibly another. St. Lomans players are not too happy about it, but the referee has awarded a free for Coralstown Kinnegad, and they're carrying forward again. Wayne Fox has Green Cooney here in support. Green on to Darren Giles. Giles about to take on Jack Gagan. Tries to hold him off. Good tackle by Gagan. Knocks the ball to the ground, but Giles picks it and spins at the same time. Comes inside. His one intention was to have a shot at the goal. Oh, that's a fabulous kick. What a kick from the centre half forward, the team captain. We could see him here, Shane. When he got the ball in his hand and spun away, he had one intention, that was to get a shot on target. Great point here from Coralstown Kinnegad.
Oh, power and strength and accuracy. And Jack Gagan had put in initially a very good tackle, but Gilesy is so balanced and strong, and he found that onto his favourite left foot, and we know what a great thump he has off the ball and a high curling, typical of the point you want to score in a county final, Ray, if you like. It lifted the crowd, it levelled the game for them, and Lomans are finding it very tricky to figure out how can they break down this Kinnegad side. We've had Ronan O'Toole and Sam McCartan on the ball loads, not a huge amount of John Heslin on the ball. TJ Cox is getting it and slowing it down a little bit. They must be finding it terribly frustrating out there because they can't play the ball off the boot the way they like to.
Yeah, they're coming forward again here now with Jack Gagan. Gagan has Whelan here on support, on front of the stand here, and he gives it back inside to Kevin Regan. That's the full half back line. Have handled the ball in this attack so far. Nice ball from Regan into the corner back. Oisín Hogan. Hogan on to Dempsey. Dempsey lays it off first time. Danny McCartan takes on his man. Looks like he was being held back. Yes, he is. The referee has his arm in the air, and then he stops the play and brings it back for the free. And we see Patrick Caelan down below us. Just lifts the cap there. He's frustrated with that because his side have been pretty well disciplined on every one of these St. Lomans attacks.
They have, and they have, normally at this stage of a championship game, you'd have found that John Heslin has 4 or 5 frees tapped over the bar. I don't think he's anywhere near that number at the moment, Ray.
2 so far, hoping for the hat-trick here now as he lines this one up into the breeze. 19 minutes on the clock. Sides are level at 6 points apiece. Heslin just shimmies forward with it on the right foot, takes his time, shows all his experience, and tips that one over the bar to put his side back into the lead. Yeah, he's been playing in fully position, Shane. He's sort of neither middle of the field or full forward. He's been floating in around there, being picked up all through the game there by Shane Fleming. I think he's picking him up now. He's the latest man on him. David Giles has been working on him as well. So they're doing quite a good job on him so far.
They are. Look, John is trying to find how he can influence this game like he always does. He comes out around the middle when it's needed. He's trying to be a target inside, but the Kinnegad have it so closed up in there that, the Ronan O'Tooles and the Kevin Regans and the Sam McCartans can't tread that pass through to him. So, like I said, they must be finding it a little bit frustrating, but they still feel that they're in control and they've been here before. But Kinnegad have been economical in this second half, right?
David Giles under pressure here with the ball, but does very well. Shows his quality there to step away from all tackle. Gives it back to Ronan Doyle, and a lovely kick pass from Doyle over to the far side where Liam Daly has acres of space to come into. Stops, gives it back as far as Maxwell. James Maxwell is holding the possession. And the Gaffney is trying to close down any avenue for him to come forward. He just gives it back here now to Daly again. Daly again just holds that possession back to Ronan Doyle. Doyle on here to his full back, Daniel Woods, and Woods has Owen O'Brien here in space. He injects a little bit of pace, steps inside the tackle there from TJ Cox. Cox put in a good tackle on him, and then too many steps there for the referee. Not too sure about that, but one thing we will say about the referee, he has been consistent. There's a sub about to be introduced here. Owen Bracken wearing the number 4 is about to come in. We'll see who he's going to replace. And it's Wayne Fox, the man who's coming off.
Yeah, and a change that has been made a few times during the year. I thought Wayne was very, very good in the first half when Kinnegad needed to retain possession and, against the wind, work the ball. I thought he was excellent. He's done very well now, fresh legs in for Kinnegad to see the game out like the way they have done in the past, and they'd be looking to not just score 2 more and keep Lomans probably where they are.
Yeah, Lomans have possession back inside their own 45-metre line. Chance here for Sam McCartan, just break the line, pops a pass over the top there to Kevin Regan. He's gone on there. Regan tried to give the pass to him, but McCartan not watching it, but looking for St. Lomans. It breaks back to them. David Whelan now with a fisted pass over here to Owen Hogan. Owen just on his own 65-metre line, gives it back to David Whelan. He's carried it forward with his run, drags a couple of players with him. Whelan back to Jack Gagan. Gagan gives it inside where Enda Gaffney has possession. Gives it to Gagan, and now TJ Cox has stayed over there in the centre of the field with all the time to flick it up into his hand, and he carries it forward towards Kevin Regan over on the terrace side here. Regan gives a fisted ball back into Gaffney again. Lomans leading 7 points to 6. 22 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. It's Ronan O'Toole. He's the latest Lomans man to get the ball. He picks out a beautiful pass inside. There's a chance for McCartan. Can he get the space? Super tackling there by the Coralstown Kinnegad man, and they come forward with it again. Great defending there. This man has just come on wearing the number 21, Jack Torpy. Jack did very, very well there. Tracked Sam McCartan, Horton McCartan was fancying that one, but got the block on him. Coralstown Kinnegad coming forward again. Jason Mackin does well, gives it into Josh Gahan. Gahan being tackled hard there by Owen Hogan, does very well, takes him on again. Referee has seen that he was being fouled. Great play by Josh Gahan. Shane Josh Gahan has been excellent right throughout this campaign for Coralstown Kinnegad. He wears number 7. More often than not, you'll find him in the half-forward line. Did brilliantly there to engineer a free for his side.
He did, and again, Owen Hogan's first tackle was excellent, and the referee didn't fall for anything, but Josh Gahan continued, and then he managed to get by him, got tackled in over the shoulder, and a tricky enough kick here for Darren Giles now.
Yeah, referee just taking the St. Lomans players back. The requisite distance here now is Giles. He'll rob a couple of metres in this as he comes forward, take this and with the left foot. Currently in the right behind here. I don't think it's on target, it's not. Just across the far side, Green Cooney was there, couldn't get in. And another sub about to be introduced here, wearing number 19 is Podge Quinn.
On the other side, Ray. Oh, the 2 19s are coming in.
2 19s, but the first one being introduced is number 19 for St. Lomans, and number 19 for St. Lomans is Kelvin Riley. Kelvin, again, a very experienced player as well, and he comes in. And as you say, Coralstown Kinnegad are going to also introduce their number 19, and he's coming in the place of James Maxwell. 19 is Podge Quinn.
Yeah, we're just coming in with 5.5 minutes of normal time. If you'd have asked Kinnegad to write the script for this game early last week, this is exactly how they'd have written it, Ray. Be in the game with 5 or 6 minutes to go, only a point in it, not a high scoring game, frustrating St. Lomans, bringing in players like Podge Quinn from the bench to try and help us see the game out. As I said, Lomans have been here before. They're trying their utmost. I think they're struggling to get frees. It's attritional out there.
Yeah, and Coralstown Kinnegad will come forward again. Great play. Work like dogs out there in the middle of the field as that ball was dropped down, and it had to be a dirty ball and someone had to go in and win it. And in credit to the Coralstown Kinnegad man, they're putting their bodies on the line. Ball is carried forward there by the number 21, Jack Thorpe. Pulled to the ground, free in, Brian Coney with the ball and an opportunity here to tie things up. 1-2, not too happy with the referee's decision here as he has a word with him. Lane shaking the hand. I think, Shane, you alluded to the word frustration, and I think that's exactly how these Lomans players are feeling.
Well, they're feeling a little aggrieved as well, Ray. They feel that there's been a couple of decisions very soft against them and very difficult for them to get a free. But it was very important that Brian Cooney put that over after Darren Giles missing the earlier chance to equalise. Right in the mental pot, the crowd are really getting involved in it here now, and there's a squeeze on Jason Daly's kick out.
Yeah, Sean Flanagan was the target. Flanagan was pushing the back there as he was trying to reach for the ball there. Important free one, and Ronald O'Toole has it taken and it's gone over to the far side of the field. They come forward with it again. Ball is back here now with Sean Flanagan, who fists back in, and they come from right to left where Andy Gaffney has Owen Hogan available here. Hogan takes the pass on the money, gives it back to Gaffney, bursting through a little bit of space, gives it off to Dempsey. Dempsey back to Hogan again, and Hogan clips a nice ball inside. Jack Gagan on the loop around is TJ Cox. Cox just holds it and then gives it back to Owen Hogan again. Hogan coming forward, spins around, gives it back to Gaffney. They'll try and be patient and engineer to get one of their main shooters on the ball here. It's back now with David Whelan. Whelan with a couple of players there beside him. One of them is O'Toole. O'Toole drops it and has time to go back and pick it up. Jinx, as he can do, comes inside with the left foot, clips the ball inside. Hesson has it, lays it off first time to TJ Cox. Cox forced away by the combination of the goalkeeper and defenders. They've worked it back out. Danny McCartan has it. Danny takes on his man, draws the free. The shot comes in. It's gone over the bar. We'll see what's the referee going to do. He's coming back for the free.
Yeah, I think he just dragged it wide, Ray. The referee is coming back for the advantage. The hand was up, well played. Look, the go-to men, Ronald O'Toole finds this pass. John Heslin it's not a difficult take, or not an easy take in the air on the edge of the square under pressure, and probably the left-handed hand pass to TJ Cox going by him was just off target to open up the goal chance. But ruthless when he saw the chance to offload it. He could have easily turned himself and fisted it over the bar.
Yeah, he's going to take this free now. It's about 23-24 metres out from the goals. comes inside, making it more favourable with the right foot. Hesson will make no mistake with that. Fires it over the bar. 4 points and 3 for Hesson.
Hugely important kick out for Kinnegad now. 28 minutes gone. Lomans will try and tease him into finding somebody in a pocket, but they didn't get the squeeze on well enough, and Kinnegad are coming away with it.
Yeah, Liam Daly made himself available, and he took the short kick out there from Stephen McNevin, and David Giles just holds the ball, works it back to Ronan Doyle, and this opportunity maybe here for the Coralstown Kinnegad men to go down the left hand side. Daniel Woods carries it forward, has a man spare over there on the sideline, and then they work it inside. Owen O'Brien, what a shift he's put in for his side. He's carrying it forward, needs a little bit of support. Shane Dempsey gets a tackle on him, forces him to hold the ball and turns back inside and lays it off there to Podge Quinn. Ball now with Ronan Doyle. Doyle carries it forward. Liam Daly is available here if he wants to use it. He's going to take it right up into them. Gives it on there now to the number 21, Jack Torpy. Torpy has time and he decides he's going to take on his man. Going into a bit of a corner here, needs to get the ball out. Tackle comes in from Ronan O'Toole. Quick hands in there on the Coralstown Kinnegad as he was trying to get the pass back. Jack Torpy, maybe a little bit of inexperience there, ended up in the corner there, going down a cul-de-sac and maybe a little bit lucky to get possession on that one.
Now, I think I see an instruction from Jack Cooney to Darren Giles, his nephew, that he has to have a go at this, or at least drive it across the other side instead of going backwards with it. It is a scoring opportunity. It's not easy, but it's certainly one that could cause a little bit of difficulty if it gets as far as the back post, right?
Callum Cruz has just been introduced for David Giles. Giles makes his way off, and as you said, Darren Giles has the ball down here. He's looking around. What's he going to do? Opts against taking the shot, gives it back. 3 minutes of additional time is the call. But Jack Gagan takes inside. Jason Mackin through the hands it goes. Chance here for the Coralstown men. Can they get room to get the shot in? It's high, it's hanging, it's dropping. Jason Daly goes high. Has he held on to it? He's on the ground. And good hands there from the county goalkeeper. Dangerous ball coming in. St. Lomans have it. Tackle coming in there from Owen Brackett. Not deemed to be legal by the referee. Darragh O'Keefe goes to ground, wins the free for St. Lomans back just outside their own 20-metre line. David Whelan takes it quickly, gives it back as far as the goalkeeper. Jason Daly, there's a spare man over on the far side of the field. And St. Lomans with the possession, trying to break down that other side. Steps inside the tackle there as Danny McCartan takes a return pass and carries it forward, then stops. Gives the ball on to O'Toole. O'Toole again holding that possession, gives it back to a teammate, and now Sam McCartan, he comes on to it. The call was 3 minutes of additional time. We're almost one through the first of those 3 minutes as David Whelan is here, and Pascal Cahill and Jack Cooney encouraging their men to come forward, trying to pin St. Lomans in here. Jack Gagan, they do exactly what they need to do. They turn over the possession. Kieran Daly goes to ground, and much to the frustration of Coralstown Kinnegad, I think that was the right decision, Shane.
Yeah, I think so. And look, as much as Lomans were aggrieved by some of the decisions by Alan Coyne as the referee today, look, he's been very, very balanced. Both sides have their frustrations, both sides have their excitement, but I think he's been very balanced in his decisions. That was correct. It was barging, the head was dropped and he was barging in. I think Jack Gagan got caught in possession. David Whelan has been excellent for Lomans today, and Jack Gagan didn't move out of his way to let Whelan come out with the ball. And when he gave it to him, then he got turned over. They are the little things that this will hinge on. And I see another substitution coming in here now for St. Lomans.
Looks like Conor O'Donoghue is going to come in. We'll see who's going off in a second. Referee holding things off and see. Conor O'Donoghue replaces Danny McCartan. Conor O'Donoghue is normally known as a wing back, and Danny McCartan comes off. And Sam McCartan has the ball in his hand. Referee looks at his watch and tells him to take the free. It's scattered there by Hesson. No better man under pressure. Hesson lays it off to McCartan, and then the referee is calling it back. There was a late tackle on McCartan, and St. Lomans won't mind this. Are 1 point clear. 8 points to 7. They lead as the clock says 32.5 minutes. It's a free for St. Lomans. They will try and see this out with the last minute or so on the clock. It's played back as far as Darragh O'Keefe. He's thought about going back to Jason Daly, goes across the field and then steps through a line of Coralstown Kinnegad players Gives a little bit of space over there in the far side. Owen O'Brien commits the foul tackle on the St. Lomans man over there on the far side. Free for St. Lomans. Very, very close to the sideline, right out in the middle of the pitch. And the free is taken quickly. Down the line it goes. TJ Cox has it in front of here on the LEC. Taking on his man. Can he get the clinching score? He's on the 20-metre line. Takes his shot and has his arms out wide because he knows that's a hugely important score.
Yeah, a man that knows where the goalposts are. But look, Ron O'Toole kicks that free into a narrow space, trusting that the likes of TJ Cox is able to win his own ball. Previous to that, John Heston showed up. Give me that ball from the free to get them out from under pressure. And it looks like that just might be enough, although we've seen some late drama in here all weekend, Ray.
Exactly, we have indeed. It depends on the referee now to see what additional time he will add on. We are 43 seconds over the 3 minutes allocated. Is there going to be one last chance? Josh Gahan carrying the ball. It's a goal now or nothing. But again, the ball not won by St. Lomans. There's a chance here. Breen Cooney, I think, is gone. The referee signal touched on the ground. I think it was Owen Bracken, the man that had it. I think that is going to be the end of the game. And it is indeed, because the referee has signalled that it is all over. The championship champions for the Shay Senior Football title for 2023 are the men from St. Lomans. 2 points in it at the end, 9 points to St. Lomans, 7 for Coralstown Kinnegad, and supporters come onto the field. Joy for St. Lomans after losing the final last year, but devastation and heartbreak for St. Lomans or for Coralstown Kinnegad. Shane, very little between the sides. Maybe that little bit of experience for St. Lomans told in the end.
Oh yeah, look, it'll be a massive learning for Kinnegad. They were excellent in everything they tried to do today. I say they achieved almost everything apart from obviously the final result. But you can see from that group of St. Lomans players how much this means to them, and you know, they dropped to their knees at the end of this. This was attritional. That's as tough a county final that St. Lomans have had, because it tested more than just their football ability. It tested how they can adapt to the situation, to the tactical setup, the frustrations that Kinnegad caused. And Kinnegad had players that played extremely well. Alan Coyne will come into conversation and has done, referees have done it around the county over the weekend, but I think in the balance of it, he called everything as he saw it. There was no bias in it, and there was times that it felt like it favoured Kinnegad. There was other times it felt like it favoured St. Lomans. But all in all, a really good contest, intriguing, not your classic beautiful football in lots of ways, but the quality stood up at the end, and the quality, that extra bit of quality, the extra bit of experience that's in St. Lomans got them over the line, and what I thought was a very enjoyable game of football, Ray.
Yeah, I did too. It was an intriguing game. I think I said during the week that Coralstown Kinnegad would be quite happy to win this game 3-2. They kept it tight for so long. They came out at the start of the second half with the wind in their back. They pegged themselves back into the game. No real goal-scoring chances to talk about except the one for Dan Leach, which was just before half-time. It was a crucial opportunity not taken. And it's on such narrow margins when games are so tight that games were won and lost.
Yeah, and it would be devastation in Kinnegad knowing that they had drawn it level, and they missed a couple of opportunities, and Darren Giles free that he missed, and then there was a turnover and a free that Breen Cooney converted to draw it to 7 points apiece, I think it was, Ray, but they never managed to get one more score after that. And like I said, the quality in Lomans, the players that want the ball at the end of a game, it tells you a lot about their character. John Heston wanted that free. Ron O'Toole wanted to kick that free to TJ. TJ wanted to take his man on and put it over the bar and to seal it like that. That's quality, it's experience, it's gutsy. People might be getting bored of St. Lomans being in here every year for the last 9 years, but I enjoy watching this group of players. And what's nice to know now, like the Downs obviously had some a mass exodus last year, but I'd expect some of them to be back. I think we're going to have a really quality championship for the next couple of years. That's a very young Kinnegad side. They conducted themselves and presented themselves extremely well today. They'll be bitterly disappointed, but there'll be no doubts in their heads over the winter that they're good enough to compete at this level and go further as well, Ray.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Shane, for your thoughts. And analysis as usual here on co-commentary. We're going to finish up here in the commentary box for now. We will be back down on the sideline shortly for some interviews and some analysis from some of the reporters here and whatever. We'll have some guests on. But for now, we're going to take a break from the commentary box. Victory for St. Lomans, 9 points to Coralstown Kinnegad, 7 points. It's congratulations to St. Lomans, Mullingar, commiseration to Kinnegad, but Lomans county champions for 2023, and they'll now look forward to a Leinster campaign.
To our referee and his team of officials, Alan Hine, you did a great job on it. Well done. Your first senior final has been a while coming. Hopefully the second one you won't have to wait as long. You did a great job. Would everybody join with me please in congratulating one of our players out there today? I want to join with in congratulating Ronan O'Toole, who joins a small band of merry men from Westmeath as All-Star nominee. Congratulations, Ronan, well deserved. The game today. Many pundits had St. Lomans raging hot favourites. I heard 10 points minimum being mentioned. You didn't count in the Coralstown Kinnegad factor. A brilliant display today from Coralstown Kinnegad. You've had a tough year, a tough week, but over the last 2-3 years you've been gradually getting better. And I have no doubt your day will come. Congratulations on a fantastic display, Coralstown Kinnegad. To our sponsor, Shay Murtagh. His brother was here presenting the man of the match earlier on. Thank you for what you contribute to our games. I'm going to invite one Kevin Flanagan to join me for the presentation of the cup. Last year, the first year that we had the presentation of the Paddy Flanagan Cup since his father Paddy passed away. And he's very, very sportingly joined me in presenting the cup to the Downs. So today I'm going to ask him to join me in presenting the cup to his own club, named Lomans. Congratulations, St. Lomans. You well deserved your title. If there's a John Heston around here somewhere, I'll ask him to come with me, and Kevin and myself will hand over the Paddy Flanagan Cup to him. Lomans have the utmost respect for Kinnegad, and I know you'll be back there again. So I think Kinnegad is a community for a round of applause. And I think the fact that it was such a battle today, it means so much more to us as a club. So Lomans, it's a joy to be up here lifting this cup in honour of you, and I'm so happy and thankful that we got back up to win it again today. This is for Lomans! Lee, Alan Bracken, Gary, I don't want to leave anyone out. You were absolutely unreal all year for us. We had 40 lads down training most nights. Our juniors were unlucky yesterday, and that's a sign of a fantastic club. It's great to have our supporters out here as well today, so a round of applause for all of them. You can leave people out, so I do apologise for anyone that I leave out. I'd like to thank the county board for the work they had to turn the pitch to be what it could be today. I think anyone who was watching the games yesterday in the rain that fell in the mud, so hats off to the county board and everyone that dug deep, the volunteers to get the pitch in shape for us today. To Alan Coyne and his referee group, linesmen on umpires, it's never easy to referee a game. Without the referee, umpires and linesmen, we wouldn't have a game. So again, thank you very much for everything that you did today, and good game. Now I think that's it. Time for me to call it a wrap. This one's for you, boys. Yeah! Joined here by the victorious St. Lomans manager Paddy Dowdall. And Paddy, off camera I just said to you, is it easier to play or manage?
I think we both know the answer to that one. No, much easier playing. I'd rather be out there in the thick of it. But no, I would say to you, it's been a big change watching from the sideline. But look, very enjoyable, especially with this group of players. They're just a great bunch of players.
Yeah, you had to dig it out today. Coralstown Kinnegad came with a game plan and made life very, very difficult for you.
Yeah, well, look, we played them in the league. We played 4 times up to this point, and in fairness, every game has been a battle, you know. Maybe outside the league final, the other 3 games have been a battle, you know. And we knew they're coming in here today. They're very well organised. Pascal and Jack have them flying, you know. And look, it was always going to be the character and the experience that brought us over the line. And in fairness to that group of players, they were just brilliant on the day.
Yeah, and your leaders really stood up at the right time for you. Hessingham man of the match, running to handle and mounting the ball. You know, Sam McCartan next and Kevin Regan coming forward and kicking a point as well. Like your leaders, when the time came, Heston was the man of the ball, McCartan was the man of the ball. And I thought crucially throughout the game, Coralstown Kinnegad never got ahead of you.
Yeah, and I think that was crucial for us, you know. Like we knew we had to start fast because we couldn't allow Coralstown get ahead of us, you know. Because if they got ahead of us, just their defensive structure, they're just very, very organised, very good, hard to break down. So we got ahead in that first half, and they brought us back level. And again, that bit of character and experience brought us, kept us that 1 point. Then after that, you know, we kept getting a point and a point and a point, and then crucially, I think TJ's point at the end, you know,
was a clincher.
Sealed it, you know.
We're up in the stand. You really couldn't factor in how strong that breeze was.
Yeah, and we actually came out when we came out here originally. We weren't going to press the kick out up until before the game, and then because the wind was so strong and it doesn't look that bad. We started to push up on their kickouts, and we got joy from it. I thought probably didn't get enough scores from it, but I thought we done well enough.
Yeah, look, I'm going to let you go over there and join your team. You're more used to being in the thick of it with them as a player. You're now there as their leader, as their messiah as such. Best luck in the Leinster Championship.
Yeah.
Best luck in your managerial career going forward, because if it's as long as your playing career was, we'll be still talking here when we're 70 years of age.
Yeah.
Paddy Dowd, manager of the victorious St. Lomans team, thanks very much for joining us here.
Thanks very much. All right. Thank you very much.
Well done, buddy.
All right.
Well done. We're here on pitch side after today's county final where St. Lomans scraped over the line, 9 points to 7 victory. But Paul, I think in all fairness, when you look back at it, the best team won.
No question in my mind, Ray, the best team won. I thought Kinnegad, they made a great fight of it, and coming into the final knockings of it, it looked as if they were going to steal it, and that's what it would have been. It would have been a steal. But, you know, firepower counts for an awful lot. St. Lomans just had that firepower when it mattered most, Ray, and deserving champions in my opinion. 2 points does not reflect the game, and to be honest with you, but Kinnegad, you know, nobody gave them a chance coming in here today, but they were right in there, right into the last knockings of the game here, and they'll feel that they've left it behind, I suppose, Ray, as well.
Yeah, ultimately, Shane, they could never get ahead. You know, they came out and started the second half, 4 points down. They got level on a couple of weekends, but never could just go into the lead.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it a steal had they won it. It would have been their smash and grab type of game that they wanted to play, Ray. Like, an awful lot of credit to Kinnegad. The game went exactly how they planned. I said it to you when we were commentating. If they wrote a script for that game last Monday morning, it was exactly how they wanted, except for not getting the final result. So a lot of credit to them. Massive well done to St. Lomans. They found a way to get it done. They often do. But they were very frustrated for a lot of the game. Kinnegad had enough ball maybe to clip another couple of scores. It was difficult to kick into the Duns end. But yeah, a little bit of quality in the end. We said it at the end of the game. There was the Ronan O'Toole, there was the John Hess, there was TJ Cox, Sam McCartan. These boys wanted the ball in their hand. And particularly I thought, and I believe that John got man of the match with TG Cahir, and you know, credit to him, he kicked some.
Would it have been your choice, Shane?
I think in a game like that there was other people who influenced the game a little bit more. John was excellent when he took his frees, and deservedly so. But I thought David Whelan in particular, Kevin Regan for Lomans. I thought David Whelan carried ball at pace when he had to. He was the outlet backways all the time. He tracked back, he covered. And he's vice captain, and you get that from leaders on the pitch. Obviously, Ronan O'Toole had the ball in his hands and an awful lot of, a couple of penetrative passes, but was frustrated by O'Brien. I thought O'Brien was excellent. So, excellent. Not to take away from John's performance or being accredited with man of the match, but I think the game was an awful lot more than that. Had it been a 3-15 to 2-12 type of game, that's where John would really shine. But I think it was the tactical setup and how some of the Lomans lads tried to figure out the game and get those frees for John to convert. So for me it was really intriguing. It's not a classic game of football, 9 points to 7, but you look at the management and look at the setup of the two teams, they knew what they were coming in against. Lomans, I probably know from whispers in town for quite a while that they've been worried about Kinnegad. How will they handle Kinnegad? Kinnegad gave them exactly what they expected. They played the game in their terms, and unfortunately for them didn't come out. But again, congratulations to Lomans. They were hurt after last year, and we know that they'll represent us very well in the Leinster campaign over the coming weeks.
Yeah, exactly, Shane. Well said on that one. And for Kinnegad, just to go back to them again, Paul, they needed a goal to win that game, and probably in the whole game we probably only had one goal scoring chance. Yeah, and look at they were harder to find than hen's teeth, I suppose, today, Ray. It was very much a defensive setup from both sides. St. Lomans went into a bit of a shell in the second half. It didn't help them, in my opinion. I thought when they were going forward with menace, and I thought they might keep that up. Instead of that, they went into a kind of defensive shell and kind of allowed Kinnegad back into it, and they took their chances when they got them. Shane, I agree with Shane. Kinnegad needed to get ahead. That was the toughest thing. They got level, but never really looked like a score that was going to put them ahead. And that more than anything else, if they'd have got that, how would have St. Lomans have reacted at that stage?
I don't know, and Kinnegad might have gone even into a more defensive shell, but at the same time, Lomans found a way, and they do find a way, and you know, you have to give them great credit for that. You know, you don't reach 10 county finals by not finding a way to beat the opposition. They haven't won enough, in my opinion. They should have won a couple more. They've left a few behind them, but at the same time, when the chips were down, and you've seen it with John's speech there today, it meant an awful lot to them after the heartbreak of last season, because they would have been coming in as favourite last season and were overturned by the Downs, and rightly overturned by the Downs. And I hope now that this team, with Paddy Dowdle behind it, and you know, speaking to Paddy and talking to the Lomans boys, they want to run in Leinster. They want to show that they're a really quality side, that Westmeath football in particular is on the up, and that they want to create that little bit of history, maybe go on and win an All-Ireland title for a Westmeath club. And let's be honest about it, they have the firepower, they have the players to do it.
Yeah, we're looking, it's the end of the football season for the club scene in here in Westmeath. It is victory for St. Lomans. We congratulate them on it. From myself, Ray Gavin, Shane Donoghue was on co-com, Paul Doonan has been with us all through the year. We'll say goodbye, and again, congratulations to St. Lomans, commiseration to Coralstown Kinnegad, but I'm quite sure they'll be back. So for now, we'll say goodbye from TG Cusack Park.